We're running out of time, Anub'arak. How far are we from the exit?
Not far. We have entered the upper kingdom. The exit should lead us to the base of the glacier itself. However, there are still hidden traps and pitfalls to account for.
Take cover! Arthas! The entire passage collapsed. There's no time to dig through this. I'll have to move quickly and find my own way out. Hopefully Anub'arak and the others survived. Your pain shall be legendary. For the Lich King. This is more like it. I'll be singed if I get too close to those flames. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. I'll need this gold for when I reach the glacier. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. More of the Nerubian's blasted mechanisms. I'll have to time this perfectly. Finally. Ah, at last. This is more like it. More gold. This might help us later. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. Another quake? More like it. Finally. Ah, at last. I'll make sure you suffer. Finally. For the Lich King. What is it? This is more like it. Ah, at last. Speak, fool. What is it? Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Now, Frostmourne. Ah, at last. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. I'll make sure you suffer. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Faceless coward. This is more like it. Your pain shall be legendary. Now, Frostmourne. Faithless coward. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. What is it now? This is more like it. No endless torment. Now, Frostmourne. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me on the ground. You will know endless torment. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Ah, at last. I must find a way across this strange obstacle. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Finally. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. For the Lich King. Now, Frostmourne. At last. I'll make sure you suffer. This is more like it. Your pain shall be legendary. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Anub'arak, you made it.
I see now why the Lich King chose you as his champion of night. Few men could have survived this labyrinth alone.
No one orders me around.
Another earthquake. We must hurry, Death Knight.
At last. Frostmourne hungers.
Speak. I'll consume the living and the dead. By Nerub. Kinky. I'll consume the living and the dead. Kinky. I'll consume the living and the dead. Kinky. By Nerub.
Tread lightly.
My might cannot be matched.
Speak, fool. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. For the Lich King. Something's breaking through. Defensive positions! What is it now? This is more like it. Finally. At last. This is more like
Time is fleeting.
No one will
Feel the sting. Make your choice.
tread lightly.
I serve only the
Speak,
fool.
Fine.
Speak.
No one will just me alone. At last. This is more like it.
We're running out of time. We must find the exit.
What is it now? No one orders me around. At last. This is more
They're
like
blocking the way to the exit. We'll have to fight our way through them to reach it.
What is it now?
My might cannot be matched. Choice.
No one orders me around.
I serve only the
Tread
frozen
lightly.
throne.
What is it now? At last. Speak, fool.
My might cannot be matched.
What is it now?
I'll
hungers. Tread lightly.
Time is fleeting.
At last.
The frozen throne.
No one orders me. This is more
Inventory
like
is
it.
full.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Time is fleeting.
Speak, fool.
My might cannot be matched.
No one orders me around. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly.
Now quickly, head through that door. The exit to the surface lies just beyond.
It'll be good to see the sun again.
Remember, Illidan and the true battle still await us in the world above. Hopefully our trek through the Dark Earth bought us the precious time we needed.